Hello and welcome back to my weekend update on the financial markets. My name is Jens and today we discuss the price action of the following assets: S&P 500, US oil, gold and Bitcoin against the US dollar. Also, I will update you on my account balance and my current trades so that you know what to do in the markets the week ahead. Let's start with the S&P 500 index at the weekly time frame. Yeah, like promised, the S&P 500 on the weekly. Here is the analysis on the weekly time frame. We had so far a couple impulses followed by corrections, and now we are in another impulse to the upside that was technical correct after we have seen a new all-time high that has been printed here on the charts. To see it in more details, we drop down to the daily time frame where each candle represents 1 day of price action. Here we can see the breakout to new all-time highs. After that, we have seen a small correction. Maybe this was already a low, and we will see from here higher highs getting near our take profit target, slightly below the 6,000 point mark. That would mean nearly 6% profit in the account balance. Our stop loss level was already taken here from the low to our entry point, so we can't lose anything on the trade except the fees we paid for it. There are 3 scenarios I want to show you. The first one would be the most bullish one, that we will see directly a new all-time high. Then this would be the low of the correction, and we will continue till we get into our take profit. The second option is that we will take out this low again and make a lower low. That would be then an A, B, C correction. And after that, we will break this A, B, C correction to the upside and continue also in the same direction. Would be also positive because we get only out of the trade if we get back to our entry level. That would be also perfectly fine for me. The worst thing that could happen would be that we'll get out of our trade. So we lose the trade, but nothing except the fees we pay for it. And then we will not hold this secondary weekly uptrend line. That could also be the case, and that we will cover here and make from there on new all-time highs. But I think if we break that far below, the probability is higher that we will see a break of this secondary weekly uptrend line. Make a retest, and if we break the retest to the downside, that would mean further continuation to the downside. That would be bad. I will show you where we would stabilize again. This would be the weekly support and resistance zone in combination with the weekly uptrend line, and here price will probably find again resist support, and from there on recover and start again the uptrend. But I think it's the most unlikely scenario, and we would have plenty of time to prepare for that. If we see something like that happen here, I will inform you like always in my next weekend update. Yeah, that's it for S&P 500 index. Let's switch to US oil. I want to start also at the weekly time frame here on US oil, because here you can see the red monthly downtrend line that was present in the markets for a long time in combination with this often tested support and resistance zone, also on red for the monthly. Both got broken to the upside, and after that price moved in a consolidation here marked by this orange solid downtrend line. That one got broken to the upside. That was first optimistic for me for the price of US oil, but then the 200 moving average, that was often in the past support for price, got above price, and price got rejected from it to the downside, and the shorter moving average broke the longer moving average to the downside, which is also a bearish sign. So I traded successfully to the downside with a winning trade. And yeah, on the daily we can see that I had another one, and that was here at the moment, because here you have support and resistance, and normally after support gets broken to the downside, it turns to resistance. So I expected here a turn in the market. That was also correct, but it went not so far down like expected. I was expecting that we will retest again this weekly support zone here. But then the geopolitical news from Iran and Israel came in, and yeah, that was the reason why oil price spiked to the upside and was taking me out of my trade. Short look at the 4-hour time frame. You can see my trading setup. I was getting in here after the 4-hour uptrend was broken to the downside, and MACD was also crossing to the downside. We printed a double top here. My stop loss was slightly above it, and then yeah, price went in the absolutely right direction. I was close before my take profit, but sadly it went against me. Luckily I moved already my stop loss to my entry level, so I have nothing lost except the fees on this trade. And now the daily downtrend line got also broken to the upside, and the for our support and resistance zone was also broken. So that could be a bullish situation. I will print now in the bullish situation for US oil. That could look like the following. We make some sort of correction here, maybe an ABC one like printed here. There you could draw in a downtrend line, and if this one gets broken to the upside, especially if the point B, A, B, C, point B gets broken to the upside, you could enter, or you wait till you see a new all-time high, and that would mean that we will see higher prices, at least to this daily triangle downtrend line here. That would be bullish and could be a valid trading situation. But we can also argue at the daily time frame that we have here strong resistance. Here's the triangle of the daily time frame, and normally it means if we break out to one side of the triangle, that's normally also the side price will following a longer time in this direction before turning again. So the breakout of such a structure is also every time an important thing to notice. And so we could argue that here is a highly resistance area. So price maybe bounces here again and moves the initial predicted way all the way back down to this weekly support and resistance zone. So the lower end of this consolidation zone. So because of that, I mark this as the weekly or daily potential low. Maybe it is already in, and maybe this is the high of the movement, and we will fall back down from here. But yeah, both situations are possible. I don't think that I want to trade this if it's coming down, because it's hard to find here a good trading setup. You could use this uptrend line and use the break in combination of if we break below this for our support and resistance zone. But yeah, at the moment I don't see a good situation for that. MACD hasn't crossed so far either, but I will inform you in my next weekend update if anything changed about that. If you want to trade US oil, I would suggest that you use the first situation I printed you, this ABC correction, and if you see a break of that one to the upside, you could trade a breakout and stop loss then below this correction, and then all the way up till you reach the upper end of this daily triangle downtrend line. Yeah, that's it for US oil. Let's switch to gold. Gold at a weekly time frame, absolutely beautiful. We had this often tested resistance zone here where price wasn't able to break out, but then finally the breakout, and since then we've seen an impulse correction, a second impulse, a second correction, and now we are in the third weekly impulse to the upside. That's probably coming to an end, or the probabilities are at least high. One indicator is if we look here at the MACD, we are pretty high, and if we look out where the indicator had been that high, so in the past, here we are already over or higher at the moment, like in this situation in August 2020, and after that we came down a lot, and also here in September 2011 the indicator was that high like at the moment, and here we have seen also a good setback in price before price recovered and started again the uptrend, or continued the uptrend. I don't think that we will see such a steep setback all the way back down, maybe here to the monthly one, but we will definitely see one. That doesn't mean that it will come next week. Maybe we'll see higher prices, but we will discuss that in more detail at the daily time frame here. Here we can see the movement after we have seen here a daily consolidation that got broken to the upside. We counted the waves. First wave, first correction, second wave, second correction, and now in the third wave. That's on the daily time frame inside the weekly impulse. And after point E, if that is point E, we will see a correction at least to this secondary daily dotted uptrend line here, or maybe even back to this solid daily white uptrend line in combination with this support zone here. And if it looks like the 200 moving average could also meet price at that region and time. So I'm at the moment betting at this, that point E is in, and then we will see now lower prices. Also MACD crossed on Friday to the downside, and we have seen the first red candle here at the indicator. That hasn't to mean too much, but yeah, all signs that co-influence me that this was the right decision to short here the market. But we will see on the daily. Here you can see where I entered. This was the 4-hour uptrend. We broke that one to the downside, and I re-entered it after I have seen that also this setback here was broken to the downside. Since then, we moved pretty much sideways. I think gold is also a hedge by geopolitical risk. So maybe the situation in the Near East has some cause in that gold hold that much above it and not broken below already. And yeah, I will hold this trade. Stop loss would be 0.5% of my account balance. If we see a new all-time high, then I'm out of this trade and we have to wait till we see the real point E. And otherwise, we'll break below this, take out here the lows, and we will continue the downtrend. And if we see the take profit, that would mean 1% in the account balance as profit. And the take profit is placed before we reach the secondary daily dotted uptrend line. Yeah, if we see a break and take out of my trade at the stop loss, I will realize the loss. And yeah, I don't think I will write then another trade to the upside because, like I explained in the higher time frames, I think we are a little bit overbought and that we have to cool a little bit down. But it's absolutely possible that we see another move to the upside. But I think the more likely one is that we see first another one to the downside. From there on, maybe price recovers here and we could trade another long trade on gold. But maybe we will also break the daily dotted uptrend line and break the retest to the downside, and that could mean that we will see a little bit bigger correction. Like I said, maybe to the upper side of this sideways channel, or even the daily solid uptrend line. And from there on, we see further, and there are probably some trades we can take on the way. But if you don't want to miss any of the updates, subscribe to the channel. I will update a video every weekend so that you stay updated on the market. That's my view on gold. Let's go to Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin on a weekly, you can see that we are close. That MACD indicator is crossing again back to the upside since a long time. That would be bullish. We have already been able to make a new all-time high, but since then we moved slightly lower sideways. I think the high here is clear and the low is probably also in. I don't expect that we will see a lower low. So someday soon we have to break out of this consolidation flag here to the upside. And from there on, I expect massive moves for Bitcoin to the upside and new all-time highs. But let's drop down to the daily for more details what could happen next week. Here we see on the daily time frame that price moved in this sideways consolidating price channel, respecting every time this white dotted trend lines here. So I decided after we was hitting this trend line again, after breaking this daily downtrend line here, that it was time for a long trade. And so I entered the trade and right that one higher since then. I already moved my stop loss to my entry level after I've seen a solid breakout above this daily support and resistance zone that will protect my entry level. And after a while, after we nearly reached the take profit, price turned again to pause a moment. The correction ended like expected at this daily support and resistance zone. So nobody has to tell me that technical analysis doesn't work. That's picture perfect. Yeah, we got rejected to the upside. Doesn't mean that it will hold and that we will go all the way from there to my take profit, but it's a probability or possibility that would make me pretty happy. And maybe we'll turn again here and continue this sideways downtrend movement. And otherwise, if we turn here again maybe at the 200 moving average, it could be because that also works often as resistance, and we would turn and maybe take me out of my trade, but it would happen at the entry level, so no real loss, only the fees I paid for the trade. So not that worse, but it would be nice if this would go into take profit. Yeah, what will I do if it continues to the take profit target and the upper side of this declining price channel? Then I will do nothing except taking the profits of this trade. Then I would wait for a breakout of this price channel, retest of the price channel, and then a break of this retest to the upside for getting into more long trades on Bitcoin to ride this new all-time highs to the upside. Otherwise, if we get knocked out of the trade, it's also fine. I take the loss of the trade and wait till we see another retest of this lower side of the price channel and maybe try to find here another bottom and trade it again back to the upside. The worst thing that could happen is that we will really break this price channel massively to the downside, make a retest to retest the lower side of the price channel, and that this retest gets also broken to the downside. Then I would probably expect that we will see a correction all the way back down to this weekly support and resistance zone and a monthly uptrend line around the 4,242 or 43,000 US dollar level. That will be bad, but for investors good, because then you can get you some more cheap Bitcoins into your long-term portfolio. Because don't confuse this here is active trading and short-term trading and not the long-term investment strategy. Yeah, that's my plan for Bitcoin. I hope you are all doing well, and I wish you a good trading week that's coming on Monday, and you will see me and hear me next week in my next weekend update report. Till then, have a good one. Bye bye.